Hello, Yu-Gi-Oh players, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0. So yesterday, my friend went to YCS Atlanta and had all of his cards stolen, which sucks pretty majorly. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit first about how you can prevent your cards from getting stolen, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Konami's security policy, and how silly it is at events. So first of all, ways that you can keep yourself from getting your cards stolen. Remember that basically everybody out there has some motivation to take your cards, whether it's the fact they want to use it themselves or they feel like they can sell them for a lot of money. Chances are, if you're at a YCS, basically any player whose binder you grab or bag you grab is going to have something valuable in their bag. That's just kind of the truth of it. So ways that you can prevent your stuff from getting stolen. First of all, keep your bag on your person at all time. Do not set it down or leave it somewhere. If you are trading with a person, only try and trade with that one person. Stand directly across from them so that you can watch them looking at your binder and make sure that they don't take any of your stuff. And once again, keep your bag on your person. If you are dueling, one way that a lot of players prevent their bag from getting stolen is they put the chair leg through the strap. So that somebody would have to actually lift up their chair in order to take their bag. That's one way of doing it. At Nationals, I kept my bag on my lap. It wasn't really that much of a distraction, or I keep it between my feet because it's harder for somebody to steal it when it's, under the table and between your feet. Those are just a couple of ways that you can keep your cards from getting stolen. Keep tabs on your deck at all times. And that's just generally how you can keep your stuff from being stolen. Just keep your stuff on your person, keep a watch on it, don't leave it anywhere. Don't even, like, the way that this guy got it stolen was amazing. He set his bag down next to him to get out his deck. He pulled out his deck, put his deck down on the table, looked back down, his bag was gone. That's how quick people can be. So you need to be really careful. But more importantly, on the macro scale, I mean, you can tell people to do these things individually to keep things from being stolen. But on the macro scale, there really needs to be tighter security policy. Because right now, the Konami security policy to keep people from getting their stuff stolen is to register the bags at the door, and you're only allowed one bag, and you have to get this wristband that matches with the band around your bag that are really hard to cut off. So somebody who steals your bag can't just like rip it off and walk out the door. In order to leave the event space, you have to have only one bag, and it has to have the same tag as the one on your wrist. So, to give an idea of how silly this policy is, like, it seems like a great idea on its face. Can you imagine if you had an event going on with over 500 people, all of whom had pretty much the same gun, and somebody gets shot during the event and killed, and by the time security gets going and gets trying to figure out who did it, 50 people have left the event already. And they do check your bag at the door. You have to get a tag for the thing you're carrying the gun in, but you don't have to register the gun itself. So any person could just take out their gun, shoot a person, and imagine that everybody has some kind of motivation to shoot the same person. They shoot the person, drop the gun, walk out of the building with the same bag. How is security going to take care of this problem? There's no way, unless the person left fingerprints or something, which they're not going to dust a binder for fingerprints. The problem is, in this case, the person takes the gun with them in their bag, in the bag that they brought in, so you can't even find the murder weapon on the scene. The problem here is that the way that the Konami security policy works is a person can steal your bag, take your binders and your decks out of your bag, put it in their bag, and then leave the space. And there is absolutely no issue. All they have to do is leave the incriminating evidence behind in the event hall. Just leave the bag there. Konami will not look to see if you have the same stuff you came in with. and they won't check to see the legitimacy of your owning those things. They'll just look at the tag on your wrist and on the bag, and you know, as long as the person isn't walking out with the bag, which is pretty much the least valuable thing that they could take from you, then they are A-okay. So the point of this video, and every video that complains about something, has to be proposing a solution. And my solution is a bit of a hassle and is just kind of a pain in the ass, but it would be more likely to prevent theft. First off, I am sure that this Konami policy has prevented some theft. Like, there have to have been cases in which somebody tried to steal somebody else's bag and Konami stopped them. Or before, they just had a ton of people just walking out with other people's bags, and now they don't have that happen as much. There aren't quite as many thefts happening. But clearly they still happen pretty often, because you hear horror stories about it all the time. So there must be a better way. Well, one solution is to have Konami, authorize Konami to look at your things when you walk in the board and walk in the into the event hall, and have a registry of the things in your bag. And then when you leave, if you bought something from the vendors, then you have to have a receipt for that item that you bought. And all that you can have are the same binders and the same deck boxes, or things that you bought from one of the vendors with the receipt when you walk out. The problem with this is A, it would take longer to get into the event space, B, it would take longer to get out of the event space, and it would prevent a degree of trading. You couldn't just trade off binders. But one of the things it would do is it would also prevent one of the things that Konami hates the most, which is selling things, because a lot of the time people just kind of buy binders. And that's how it goes. They buy binders off of people when the officials aren't looking, and they get a bunch of cards for cheap. And that's part of the reason why a lot of people go to the events, is to buy a lot of cheap cards and to sell their cards. But the trade-off here is that if everybody has to have receipts for new things that they have in their bag, and a registry of the old things that they had in their bag, and not like individual cards, because then you couldn't do trading at all, but like everybody had to register the number of binders that they have in their bag and the number of deck boxes, and then if they left with anything new, they had to have a receipt from a vendor. It's a huge pain in the ass, and it does prevent a degree of trading, but it would prevent a lot of the theft that you see, because if you had to go, oh, here are the binders that I came in with, here are the binders, and these are on the registry, here are the deck boxes that I came in with, and here are just a couple of things that I bought from ARG, for instance, and here are the receipts for it, then that would be fine. I mean, it would stop people from just putting your binder in their backpack. It would stop people from, you know, just grabbing your deck boxes and putting them in with your own. A lot of people already have the deck boxes they already own filled up, and it would take a lot more planning ahead in order for them to buy a binder from ARG, open it up, take all the stuff out of your binder, put it into their binder, and all the stuff out of your deck box, put it into their deck box, etc., and then ditch your binder. It would be a lot more of a hassle and would take a lot more planning ahead, which, let's face it, thieves at YCSs aren't that great at. So that's just a solution. I understand that there are many problems with it, but it's just one way that my complaining about this problem of security at YCSs could possibly come to fruition, and actually have a point to it. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below, and give any suggestions you have for people to get their cards not stolen, and to have Konami improve their security policy at events. Meanwhile, thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, the RJB0, and I guess I gotta go jet. See you guys.